What is going on, guys? In today's video, I just want to go over a few things because there's a lot of people that are actually not moving here. And when I had the conversation with these people on why, these are the reasons why they're letting me know that Albuquerque and New Mexico is not going to fit for them. So grab your pen and your pad and let's go. What's going on, guys? My name is Eli, and if this is your first time tuning into the Living in Albuquerque channel, welcome. Do yourself a huge favor and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom. That way you guys never miss out on any videos, because we are dropping videos every week talking about what our beautiful city of Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, Los Lunas, and all these amazing areas around us have to offer. Now, aside from doing these videos, guys, I got to remind you that I am a licensed broker here in the state of New Mexico. As much as I love doing this, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. So that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. I am the one that answers all the calls, texts, and emails. And what me and my team would love to do is hop on a quick video call with you guys to really go over what moving to Albuquerque looks like, go over a couple of maps, and really hone down on that next house for you guys. So if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to reach out because we'd love to help. But enough of me, guys. How about we hop right into this video? Alrighty, guys, number one up on this list is going to be our climate here. Now, I've had the conversation with people around this topic so much that I figured that sometimes it can be misleading, like we're always sunshine and rainbows and it's beautiful down here. And although it is, you have days like today when we woke up and there's just snow on the ground and it's early March. Things like that tend to happen. The weather kind of gets sporadic sometimes. So keep in mind that yes, it is going to be sunny for a majority, but there is going to be some cases where you are going to have some high winds, a lot of rain coming down, some hail, and maybe some snow. So a running joke that we have down here is that the weather is really dictated by the zip code that you're living in. So if you are going to be living like in the East Mountains or on the east side closer to the mountain, you are going to get more snow and more rain. So you got to be prepared when it comes to living up there. The middle kind of inner city is kind of hit or miss. It can get a lot of snow, it can get dusting, maybe a little rain. It really just depends on how the weather patterns are moving. And then the west side, it's kind of like the same thing. And in most cases, we don't get a whole lot of rain and a whole lot of snow on this side of town. But when we do, it comes down hard. So it's really pick and choose what areas that you're looking for. So if climate and weather is going to be super important to you guys, you're really going to want to take a look at exactly where you're living. Because if you are living on the east side, again, you are going to get a lot of rain and a lot of snow. Middle area, kind of hit or miss. And on the west side, it's an extreme. So it's one or the other. It's kind of on and off. Really. So pick and choose your battles there, guys. For the most part, it's not going to be something that's all week long or anything like that. It's maybe going to be a day or two, sometimes even just a morning. Like this last snowstorm that we got, it was all morning. It came down hard and we played outside all day, and by the afternoon it was pretty much all gone. Alrighty, number two, guys, it's going to be the misconception of the job market that we have here. Our job market is growing tremendously. I mean, there's postings all the time on Indeed for different kinds of jobs, and it's crazy, all these different jobs that I've never even known about. Anytime that I'm looking on there just for curiosity to see what's going on, it's like, man, I didn't even know you can get a job in that. So really keep in mind that people won't move here because they don't believe that we have a sustainable job market. And the truth is that right now, the healthcare industry, the film industry, tech, construction, and the service industry like restaurants and stuff like that are booming. There's a lot going on down here, especially with us continuously growing year after year. A lot of people are actually moving down here because of that, because they want to get their piece of the pie while they can. So if that's something that you're on the fence about, like, man, will I even be able to find a job? It's kind of like the Wild West. What is even out there? Hit me up and let's really have that conversation of different areas that you can find for yourself that will help you when it comes to making that decision on the next job. Or if you already got something lined up, because you probably are either moving here because of the healthcare industry, the Sandia Labs, or even just Netflix, you know, and everything that they got going on down here. So kudos to you. I can't wait to see you down here. Let's move on to the next one, right? Alrighty, now for the next one, guys. I've been doing these a lot lately, and you guys seem to enjoy them. We're going to hop on the computer, do a quick map tour, a couple of things. We're going to map tour, different cities and distances, transportation routes, and we're also going to hop on NH.com and take a look at what they have to say about the schools in the area. Now, hopping back into the map, we're inside, we're a little bit warmer, and really taking a look at what other cities are close to us, far from us. I really want to paint the picture for you guys that everything is pretty close, to be honest with you guys. And a lot of people get this misconception of, everything is super far away. We got to travel to do this, that, and the third. In some cases, it'll be true, but that'll be a personal decision of living in the boondocks. But taking a look at, how far Albuquerque is from Santa Fe, for instance, it's not going to be that far, guys. And I just wanted to bring up the map just to give you guys a total look, right? We're looking at Santa Fe now. And now when we pop in the directions to Albuquerque, we'll even see a traffic pattern here, right? See what's going on. Really about an hour and 45 minutes is what you're going to be traveling. Personally, don't quote me on this, but it takes us about 45 minutes to get to Santa Fe from our house, which is on the west side over here. So just keep in mind that depending on the traffic patterns, sometimes they have construction going on here and you might be sitting in traffic for a little bit longer than you expect. But really just count for that whole hour just of travel from Albuquerque to Santa Fe if you are planning on doing some different things. So in Santa Fe, they have different things to offer, like their Old Town Plaza, got a lot of historical value there. You go see the old church, or hey, if you just want to enjoy a little bit more snow and you want to go into the ski resorts, Santa Fe has Sipapu and all that stuff in their backyard. So now let's take a look at how far Albuquerque is to Los Lunas. If you want to enjoy kind of more of a ranchy vibe, more of a setting there, really, you're looking about 30 minutes away. It's not going to be too far. I know people that live out here kind of like in the boonies of Los Lunas, and it really takes them about that same time to get to work here in the downtown area. Now, when we are talking about like other towns like Taos and stuff like that, you're also not going to be too far away, right? 3 hours if you want to go to Taos and enjoy a little bit more of a rugged, mountainous living, or you want to enjoy just being totally in the outskirts, kind of like a little bit less populated than Albuquerque. And we'll do videos in the future of Taos and, the Enchanted Circle and everything that they have to offer. So be on the lookout for that, guys, there. But really just painted the picture for you guys. And if you guys want to take a look at traffic patterns, we're going to be getting into that here next. Sweet, guys. Now, a couple of things that have been brought to my attention, and it's traffic patterns and commuting and all that stuff. And a lot of people aren't moving here because they say that it gets super congested. There's not a whole lot of different route system, not a whole lot of public transportation. And it's quite the contrary, right? Because Albuquerque is built very well. It's built like a grid. So navigating the city and getting from one place to the other isn't going to be a task. It's not going to be a job. Sure, you may find yourself stuck in traffic from time to time, especially in those peak hours like I've talked about in the past, from 7 to 8 and 5 to 6. So keep in mind that if you are traveling towards the east side early in the morning on the freeways, you may find yourself in some light traffic, and then it's going to be vice versa in the afternoon from 5 to 6. And then totally opposite. So if you're traveling from the east side to the west side in the morning, no traffic. And flip it again for that afternoon travel when you go back home. So really, guys, it's pretty much going to be this right here. Us talking about crossing the river. It's going to come down to that decision, right? Do you want to live on the west side where it's a little bit more residential? You got a little bit more of that family essence, that family vibe? Or do you want to live more inner city, North Valley, where it's a little bit more rustic, rural, South Valley, a little bit more rural? Because when you're talking about South Valley, the bus route system is it is what it is. There's not a whole lot going down there. They barely even got sidewalk. It gets pretty rural. And in the North Valleys, it's still pretty inner city. So they still are going to have a lot of different bus routes that run through some of those residential areas. But for the most part, you are going to be seeing the ART bus that travels through Central, that runs about every 15 minutes. It's free. It adds a ton of value for people that are trying to get from one side of town to the other, that, don't mind using the public transportation. And with all the different bike routes, I mean, you're going to be surprised at how much bike routes there are in Albuquerque, right? Switch up the map here real quick. And as you can see, right, all the highlighted bike routes, it pretty much will connect you from one side of the town to the other. So if you enjoy biking, that's your thing, you want to bike to work, or you just like to bike in general, you are going to be able to do that here. And most of these biking trails have walking trails, so super walkable. As far as you can see, every part of Albuquerque is going to be somewhere that you can get to on foot, public transportation, and or through your bicycle. And traffic patterns, I mean, as far as you can see, a few areas of congestion, not a whole lot, to be honest with you, and it's just at peak times or something catastrophic like a wreck happened. So in all reality, guys, it's not going to be something terrible. Alrighty, now the big topic of conversation that I always run into, it's always negative, we're always dead last, but when we look at stuff like this, like websites like niche.com, when it comes to the education system here, it kind of just like throws out that stigma. Now, keep in mind that some of these schools here that you're looking at right up at the top of the list are going to be more towards that private school, kind of you have to pay a tuition and all that stuff. So if you don't mind paying for a tuition and having a private education for your child, this is going to be it for you guys. Now, there is, right, once we get past these, private education systems, public schools, right? Next Gen Academy, big STEM school, East Mountain High School for people that live up there in the mountains, right? Who would ever thought that living in the mountains you get a pretty good education? And then La Cueva High School, which is going to be closer over there to North Domingo Park, North ABQ Acres, Sandia Heights, all that, right? Another public school, Cottonwood Classic Prep School, St. Pius, which is a private school on the west side. Most of these other schools over here are on the east side. This one here is on the west side as well, but it's more centrally located, so it brings a sense of convenience for a lot of parents who live on the east side because they travel through Montano or through the freeway, hit Coors, and then they're there at Bosque. So a lot of cool stuff to look at here, right? A lot of A-rated schools, College and Career High School, which is a public high school, Sandia High School, a lot of stuff that a lot of people get a lot of negative flack for when it comes to the education system, but this is niche.com giving you guys an insight, and you guys are always more than welcome to hop on this website yourself, check it out, see what they have to offer, and just kind of click through and see if it best fits your needs, right? Whether it's a religion, whether it's, traditional, charter, magnet, or private. They got all these different things here that you can kind of filter the schools through and make your best decision. When it comes down to the areas, that's where I step in and kind of find the best fit for you guys, whether it's convenience, amenities, or, you just want to be closer to these schools here in particular when it comes to finding that home. But we're going to step out of the office, guys, head back to the garage, go over a few other misconceptions that most people will have when it comes down to living here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, you gotta love a good map tour. I have so much fun in doing those for you guys just because you really get to see hands-on real data behind the scenes onto what I'm seeing. And now you gotta be aware that a lot of people aren't moving down here because they don't think that we're diverse in our culture, that it's either Hispanic or Native American. And the truth of the matter is that we're everything. We got so much culture here and so much different lifestyles just kind of commingling with one another that at the end of the day, it seems that we really don't care. We just care about you as a person and all that stuff. And I say this so much in pretty much all of my videos that I do like this because it's a super important thing, because believe it or not, a lot of people are actually moving down here because they're trying to get away from the opposite, not feeling like they belong, not feeling like they are part of the community anymore. And when people move down here, especially the past clients that we've been able to help through this channel, they tell us that, man, you're right. We feel like we've lived here forever. We don't feel any different. Yeah, we bring different ideas and different kinds of lifestyles because we've lived in bigger cities. But for the majority, it's like, we don't have to put all of that up at the front. We just kind of let our work and, the things that we do come out, and it pretty much just creates an identity for ourselves as somebody that has a different opinion, somebody that has a different idea, and New Mexicans really support that because we enjoy forward progress. But enough of this topic of conversation. We can go on and on for hours. How about we move on to something a little bit more on the health and wellness side. Now, there's this big misconception on the health and wellness and the services that are available for people, and they say, man, you guys are a smaller city, there's probably not a whole lot of services that you can offer to me. And the truth is that we actually do offer a whole ton of health services and wellness services here. I mean, you see different types of gyms everywhere, CrossFit, Jiu-Jitsu, all these different things that I've never seen really before within the past 10 years, really starting to pop up and starting to become a lot more popular, especially with like these health and wellness clinics that are a little bit more holistic, because New Mexico is a big holistic community, and so is Albuquerque alone. You'll find tons of holistic practitioners all over the city that are actually licensed. It's pretty crazy. I never thought you can actually get licensed in that, and UNM actually has one of the only holistic medicine schools in the whole country. Now, I'm sure there's some plugged in away, but UNM seems to be the original one. After doing so much research myself, because I was interested in it, I was like, man, that's actually pretty cool. So if you're interested in that, you might want to start looking into it now, because it's a long wait list. Aside from that type of wellness and healthcare, the hospitals are continuously growing. I mean, UNM is adding more to their department. Presbyterian Russ Medical Center on the west side is just growing their facility out there because they have so much area to do so, that they're bringing in people from the outside, offering them great jobs. That way that they can serve our community. That way we don't have to go out of state anymore in order to seek healthcare. For the majority, it's all within our backyard, within our wheelhouse, and it's everything that we can offer to you guys, even some specialists. And for the majority, I haven't personally heard of anybody really leave, unless it's like a super critical illness or somewhere where like there's only one doctor in Denver or in California that can actually do this type of work. Those are kind of like far and few between. I've only heard about 1 or 2 people actually that left to seek treatment for like cancer and stuff like that, but not really a whole lot of people leaving to seek treatment and the services that they need, either for themselves or kiddos or a loved one. They are finding everything that they need here within the city. Okay, now this is gonna go for all you shopaholics. Albuquerque doesn't have a whole lot of shopping, and I'll be honest with you guys, we do have like the 2 different shopping areas, or shopping districts if you want to call it. It's gonna be on the west side, right, Cottonwood Mall, and that stretch of shopping there, and then on the east side you are gonna have Coronado, Windrock, and then Uptown. And really all the boutiques and all that stuff is gonna be closer to Old Town, because they really cater to the tourists, and they want to make sure that anybody that is coming here to visit actually enjoys what we have to offer as a city. They really get the full experience. So if you are looking for either local shopping or you're looking for a mall, we're gonna have it, but it's not gonna be in a large sense like some of these other major cities. And plus we don't have like outlets, which we used to have. And I mean, if that's a bummer for you, cool. If you're not really into the whole retail therapy thing, then Albuquerque is going to be the whole vibe for you, because you are going to be like me. For instance, we do a whole lot of local shopping. We really try to keep the money here within the city, because we thoroughly enjoy the local stuff. We enjoy supporting our community and putting our best foot forward when it comes to that, because hey, we run a business here as well, and the more people we can connect with and vibe out with, it just brings so much joy and positive vibe to us. And if you have a business yourself and you're planning on moving it down here, you're really going to enjoy doing business here within the city, because everybody comes together as entrepreneurs and as a collective to really support one another. And you'll see different types of businesses collab together just to really make something unique and awesome that they can provide as a service or as a product to their community. This one here is kind of funny. Number 9 on the list is, I get it all the time. It's like, what is even out there? Like, you guys are super rural. There's no people living out there. And I mean, you guys see in the map tour that Albuquerque is actually pretty big, and we do have a lot of space in between us to be able to grow. But the fact is that you're not really rural living if you live in Albuquerque. I mean, there is little pockets here and there, like the North Valley, Corrales, and the South Valley, where you can really escape the city and still be in the city. You can live on a ranch and have horses and all this stuff and really not feel like you're near civilization. And then 15, 20 minutes, you're away from a Costco, downtown, stuff like that, right? So really Albuquerque is pretty urban, to be honest with you. We still have that old essence of rural lifestyle, because come on, we love that here. We love the beauty and the nature that New Mexico provides, that we just don't want to disturb it. We want to preserve it and keep it for as long as we can and pass it down to the next generation, because that we'll never be able to create again, right? The bosques, the rivers, the mountains, the west side volcanoes, all of that, right? We don't want to disturb or destroy the beauty of Mother Earth and what it's provided to us. So we've really tried to put forward that when it comes to growth, building new residential areas, or making new businesses, right? So with that being said, no, this isn't the Wild Wild West. Although it feels like that in some areas, because some areas are just untouched, believe it or not, you really are going to find yourself that you have all the amenities that you need here within the city. You wouldn't think that the last thing on this list would even be here, right? The conversation that I have with people over Zoom is the fear of the unknown. Like, we've never been to Albuquerque. We don't know what Albuquerque or New Mexico has to offer. And the one thing that I tell people is you are stepping into an area that is more slow, right? It's a little bit slower in pace. Progress is happening, but not super fast to where you're gonna feel anxious or this type of way of like, man, I really need to catch up. I really need to move forward. Unless you're super ambitious, but really outside of that, when you move down here, you're going to feel like either a weight has been lifted off of your shoulders or you're coming to a place that feels good, because our community, our vibe, our lifestyles down here is all about quality, right? We like to move fast and we like to work hard when it's necessary. We like to be effective with our time, because family is kind of like at the core of all of this. And if that's important to you, right? Not saying just kind of like the atomic family or the household. I'm talking about building a community of people around you that kind of are you, right? But look a little different than you. That's what really holds us together. That's the glue there is, our heritage, our culture, and family. So if that's what you're looking for and that's what you vibe out with, and you're tired of feeling like you don't belong where you live right now, the fear of the unknown, is it really a fear? Or is it just something that you're making up in your head because this is all new, right? And change is good. We understand that, right? We experience all 4 seasons here, and we experience them sometimes in one day. Fear of change is probably what you're afraid of. The conversations that I have, the change that people are seeing when they move down here is good. Alrighty guys, now I did get a little philosophical on you guys, and I don't know, maybe some of you guys are struggling with moving down here and you just don't know, right, what to expect. You hear a lot of people saying, don't move down here, it's like Breaking Bad, and to tell you the truth, it's really not. It's all show and TV that you see on there. I mean, great TV show, but that example of what we have to offer here. And if you guys are planning on moving down here within the next 30, 60, or 90 days, shoot, even the next year, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line, and I'd love to hop on a quick video call with you guys just to really help you out with that decision about where you're going to want to move to when it comes to living in places like Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, Los Lunas, the East Mountains, wherever in New Mexico you're looking to move to. I'd love to make sure that me and my team are able to help you out with that. So feel free to reach out. I'm going to go inside. It is freezing cold out here. There's snow in my truck, and I got to go get ready to go back to the office to print some documents. So you guys enjoy your weekend. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.